If a major global conflict broke out tomorrow, not in 5 years, but literally tomorrow morning, I don't think it would look anything like what we see in the movies.
Not at all. It wouldn't be distinct battle lines or massive tank formations rolling across a border. Honestly, the most devastating parts of it would probably be silent. They'd be invisible, and in some terrifying cases, they wouldn't even be human.
That is a heavy way to start, but it's exactly what we need to talk about today. We are looking at the bleeding edge of military tech, the stuff that is actually operational right now. And the big question isn't just what exists, but who has their finger on the button?
Right. Because the balance of power has shifted, it's no longer just about who has the most soldiers or the biggest ships. It's about technology dominance. We are talking about systems that can decide who lives and who dies before a human commander even pours their morning coffee.
Let's dive right into that because that sounds like science fiction. But you're saying this is the reality of the kill chain right now? Specifically regarding artificial intelligence?
Absolutely. AI is the single most disruptive force in warfare history, arguably bigger than the invention of gunpowder. We aren't just talking about computers helping with logistics. We are talking about algorithms that analyze the battlefield in real time, predict enemy movements, and select targets.
So the machine is doing the thinking.
It's doing the thinking, and crucially, it's doing it faster, much faster. In modern warfare, we talk about the OODA loop: observe, orient, decide, act. Whoever cycles through that loop fastest wins. Humans hesitate, humans get tired, humans panic, AI doesn't.
That's chilling. So if you have an AI system fighting a human commanded system, the human loses simply because they can't process the data fast enough.
Exactly. Human decision making is becoming the bottleneck. The United States, China, and Israel are the leaders here. They are integrating AI to the point where the systems can react to a threat, like an incoming missile swarm, instantly. If you have to wait for a human to say fire, you're already dead.
It brings up a massive ethical question, doesn't it? If the AI is selecting the target, are we comfortable with algorithms making life or death calls?
That is the debate of the century. But while the ethicists argue, the military engineers are building. And it's not just the brains of the operation that have changed, it's the delivery systems. We need to talk about speed.
You mean hypersonic missiles? I keep seeing this in the headlines, specifically regarding Russia and China. What makes them different from a standard cruise missile?
Physics, pure, terrifying physics. A traditional missile follows a predictable arc. Radar sees it coming, calculates the trajectory, and you can shoot it down. Hypersonic weapons travel at more than 5 times the speed of sound, Mach 5 plus. But here's the kicker: they can maneuver.
So they aren't just fast, they're agile.
They are fast and erratic. Imagine trying to shoot a bullet out of the air with another bullet, but the target bullet is swerving. It renders current missile defense systems almost obsolete. You don't get a 15-minute warning. You might get seconds.
And who is winning that race?
Right now, Russia and China have actually fielded these weapons before the U.S. The U.S. is catching up rapidly, but for a while there was a genuine panic in the Pentagon. Because if you can't defend against a first strike, the concept of deterrence, mutually assured destruction, starts to wobble.
That's incredibly unstable. It feels like the guardrails are coming off. And speaking of guardrails, we usually think of war happening on land, sea, or air. But you've mentioned before that the next war might be decided before a shot is fired on Earth.
Yes. Because the modern military nervous system lives in space.
Satellites.
Everything, GPS, communications, targeting, surveillance. If you are a modern soldier, your radio, your map, and your weapons guidance system all rely on a satellite 12,000 miles above your head. If I want to paralyze your army, I don't bomb your tanks. I blind your satellites.
So space is no longer a sanctuary. It's a battlefield.
It's the high ground in the most literal sense. The US, China, and Russia all have capabilities now to disable or destroy satellites. We're talking about kamikaze satellites that can grab others, lasers that can dazzle sensors, or cyber attacks that hijack the controls.
If that happens, if the satellites go dark, what happens on the ground?
Chaos. Complete chaos. Precision missiles become dumb rocks. Aircraft carriers can't coordinate. We go back to 1940s style fighting, but with armies that aren't trained for it.
It's ironic, isn't it? The more advanced we get, the more fragile the system becomes because of that single point of failure.
Fragility is a key theme here. Look at cyber warfare. This is the battlefield you never see. You don't need to declare war to destroy a country anymore. You can shut down their power grid, freeze their banking system, or scramble their hospital records.
And the scary part about cyber is the attribution, right? If a missile hits you, you know where it came from. If the power goes out, it could be anyone.
Exactly. It's the gray zone of conflict. And this is where the playing field levels out. You don't need a trillion-dollar economy to be a superpower in cyber. Look at North Korea or Iran. They can inflict massive economic damage on the US or Europe with just a room full of hackers.
So skill matters more than size.
100%. And it's happening every day. We are technically at war right now in the cyber domain. It just doesn't make the evening news because nothing exploded physically.
Yet,
Yet. But physical destruction is getting cheaper too. We have to talk about drones.
this seems to be the lesson from recent conflicts like in Ukraine or Nagorno-Karabakh. The drone revolution.
It changed everything overnight. Historically, air power was expensive. A fighter jet costs $100 million a pilot, takes years to train. Now, you can buy a commercial drone for $1,000, strap an explosive to it, and fly it into a radar system worth $50 million.
The return on investment is insane.
It's catastrophic for traditional militaries. We are seeing swarms now, dozens or hundreds of autonomous drones communicating with each other like a flock of birds. You can shoot down one or two, but you can't shoot down the swarm.
And who is leading this? It's not just the big three anymore.
No, that's the interesting shift. The US and China are obviously big players, but look at Turkey and Israel. They have punched way above their weight class by specializing in drone tech. They've become major exporters of warfare. It's democratized air power.
Democratized air power is a terrifying phrase. It means anyone can have an air force.
Anyone. State actors, non-state actors, militias. If you have the cash and the code, you're a threat.
We've covered the brain, AI, the speed, hypersonics, the eyes, space, and the swarm, drones. There is one more frontier on your list, and frankly, it's the one that makes me the most uncomfortable. Biotech.
Yeah, this is the quiet frontier. We aren't just upgrading the machines, we are looking at upgrading the operators, the soldiers.
What does that actually mean? Are we talking Captain America super soldiers?
In a sense, yes. We are looking at biotechnology to enhance physical endurance, cognitive processing, and resilience to trauma. There is research into genetic markers that make certain people better pilots or better suited for high-stress environments.
And on the flip side, weaponized biology?
That's the darker side. Genetic analysis allows for targeted biological threats. It's not just germ warfare like in the Cold War. It's precise. It's silent. And the US and China are both investing heavily in the intersection of biotech and defense.
It feels like we are fundamentally changing what it means to be a combatant.
We are. We are merging the biological with the digital.
So let's zoom out. We have all these pieces on the board. AI, space, cyber, drones. Who is actually winning? If we had to call the score right now,
It's not a simple scoreboard anymore. If you look at the United States, they still lead in integration. The U.S. military is incredibly good at making the tank talk to the satellite, talk to the drone. Global reach is still their game.
and China?
China leads in scale and speed of implementation. They have a state-driven innovation engine. When they decide to go all in on AI or hypersonics, they move massive resources instantly. They don't have the procurement bureaucracy that slows down the West.
And Russia?
Russia is the spoiler. They focus on disruption. They know they can't beat NATO dollar for dollar, so they build things that break the game, like the hypersonic nukes or aggressive cyber capabilities. They play the asymmetric game perfectly.
And then you have the smaller, agile players like Israel and Turkey filling the gaps.
Exactly. The future isn't about one single superpower dominating everything. It's about technological ecosystems. Who has the best chips? Who has the best data? Who has the most resilient satellites?
It sounds like the definition of power has been completely rewritten.
It has. War used to be about attrition, grinding the other side down. Now it's about paralysis. Can I blind you? Can I confuse you? Can I shut you off?
And the scariest part of that paralysis strategy?
It happens fast.
Incredibly fast.
The next major war, if it happens, might be effectively decided in the first 4 hours. By the time the public realizes a war has started, the satellites might be gone, the grid might be down, and the AI systems might have already calculated the checkmate.
That is a sobering thought. We are living in a world where the most dangerous weapons are the ones we will never see coming.
And that is why understanding this tech matters. Because even if we don't see it, it's shaping the world we live in every single day.
We're going to leave it there for this episode. It's a lot to process, but it's the reality of the geopolitical landscape.
It is. Stay curious. Stay alert.
Thanks for listening. We'll catch you in the next deep dive.